Alright, internet detectives, I need your help. So there's this book that came out about 10 years ago called The Vanishing Game by William Boyd. It wasn't a regular book. It was this fully interactive online experience commissioned by, of all companies, Land Rover in 2014. For private reasons, I have been playing around with different forms of interactive fiction lately, and I suddenly remembered that this thing even existed, and the sort of internet dust-up that it created. For being a piece of sponsored literature, that is, a book that features prominent product placement written by a best-selling author, Land Rover tapped the Booker Prize-nominated author William Boyd to write a thriller about Alec Dunbar, a washed-up actor who takes on a shady courier job driving a Land Rover Defender from London to Scotland. As the journey unfolds, the story delves deeper into mystery, danger, and suspense, with all kinds of twists and turns. The novella sparked tons of talk online about the intersection of marketing and fiction, though it certainly wasn't the first. Earlier books like 2001's The Bulgari Connection, sponsored by the luxury brand, as well as 2006's Kathy's Book, sponsored by CoverGirl, both faced backlash by critics too. The artsy types, of course, were like, "How dare you sully
the sacred act of storytelling with corporate nonsense."
Others looked past the more heavy-handed moments in The Vanishing Game and saw it as something more, a groundbreaking experiment in digital storytelling. Because, as mentioned, it wasn't just a book that you could read, it was a story that you experienced. The interactive online version turned the book into a multimedia adventure. The narrative was accompanied by videos, illustrations, sound effects, and animation that brought the thing to a whole different level. It was hosted on this Tumblr-based platform that blended all of these different elements seamlessly. You weren't just reading Alec's journey, you were in it, experiencing the same tension and atmosphere the character was. Sure, if you want to be cynical, the whole thing was just a piece of literary fluff, a fairly surface-level story that functioned as an extended ad for the Land Rover Defender, but if you looked past the advert, it was a high production value and creative digital media experience that brought a simple book to life in a way we really just hadn't seen before. A sleek aesthetic that combined text with dynamic video, cinemagraphs, photography, animation, sound, music, and a silky smooth British narrator.
There was no doubt, as far as I was concerned, that the two bodies I had seen were dead bodies. Though I have to confess, I've never actually seen a dead body before. It's all about perception, so they tell you. I was the wrong guy in the wrong place, so it was no surprise that my troubles multiplied.
As you read through the story on the website, readers could engage with keywords that were embedded in the text with imagery and video. For example, if a reader selected the keyword river in the text, they would see real-world video footage of a Land Rover crossing a remote waterway in the Scottish Highlands. It was a super cool experience where you would read the story, but then you could track on GPS where the character was. Embedded into the Vanishing Game were real-life driving journeys from actual Land Rover owners. Whenever the book's main character would do something seemingly impossibly heroic with the vehicle, readers could then click an embedded link to a true story of a Land Rover owner who actually did that thing. I mostly just remember the vibes of the whole thing and how it made reading fun again during a time in my life when I'd kind of fallen out of love with written fiction. It reignited a fire for reading within me, which, again, I know sounds cheesy and weird for what is ostensibly just one long commercial, but I'm just sharing my experience. Okay, so here's my problem. I wanted to go back to the original website and relive that experience again. I wanted to read the online interactive version of The Vanishing Game one more time. But after 10 years, that Tumblr-based interactive version, as far as I can tell, is gone. The website's down, it reverts to this simple retrospective page about the thing. The flashy multimedia Tumblr experience has totally vanished from the web, and I'm left with just the ebook, which, let's be real, does not capture the magic of what this thing actually was. As far as I can tell, there's no way for me to go back and experience it the way that it was originally intended. Or is there? Again, yes, the Amazon version of this story still exists, but to me, the point of The Vanishing Game was how it combined storytelling with visuals and sound, and losing that feels like losing an important piece of internet history, and maybe the history of fiction itself, because projects like The Vanishing Game were ahead of their time. They pushed the boundaries of what storytelling could look like in the digital age, and they may just pave the way for interactive books still to come. In the fast-moving world of the internet, I know and understand that a lot of cool projects disappear if nobody makes an effort to actually save them. I don't want The Vanishing Game to vanish for good, so I wonder, is there a way for us to get it back? I don't know. I'm turning to you folks for help. This is probably a total shot in the dark, but anybody got any ideas? Like, is there a way for me to replay the interactive version of this book? Can I somehow salvage this old website and go through it once again? Did someone archive the original or download the files? I've checked over at the Internet Archive, but none of the site's screenshots seem to be working. Can we, find the people who originally worked on it and see if they still have access to the project? Here's what I've been able to learn so far. Land Rover commissioned the project, but the interactive version was built by a team of designers and developers. For the life of me, I cannot track any of those folks down. Maybe they can help us pull it back up? I don't know. Can anyone out there get in touch with any of them? Don't be weird, but I don't know. I'm genuinely interested in this. If we can't find it, maybe, just maybe, we can convince Land Rover to put it back online? Or, I don't know, release an archived playable version? It was a cool thing. I don't know why they took it away. They invested in it once. Why not let it live on for future generations of digital storytellers? I don't know. Am I weird? If you're into internet sleuthing, this is your moment to shine. I'm just curious if this cool thing that I remember from many moons ago has since been Thanos snapped out of existence. Surely somebody out there can help me figure this thing out. Okay, thank you. Also, while we're in this ballpark, maybe you've got your own ideas for a cool interactive website. Consider making one with Squarespace. They can help you put together a beautifully designed website in no time thanks to their all-new design intelligence, giving you access to easy-to-use tools so you can build a site that feels uniquely you, no coding required. Whether you're showcasing your art, story, or business, your vision will shine. Like if you want to start your own podcast, Squarespace has you covered with audio blocks. Plus, you can sell stuff from courses and videos to music or memberships. You can get started today by going to squarespace.com and starting your free trial. If you like the experience, then when you're ready to launch your site in full, you can head over to squarespace.com/AustinMcConnell and save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain.